Your life is every rank in a drug cartel. The package is heavier than you expected. You don't look at it. You don't ask what's inside. You just carry it. 2 blocks north, then left on Calle 21, then knock 3 times on the green door. That's all. That's the job. $30 and you're back home before your mother notices you were gone. You tell yourself it's nothing. You're already wrong. Level 1, the halcón. You are 14 years old and you are standing on a corner in Culiacán for the 6th hour in a row. A halcón, that's the Spanish word for falcon, and it's what they call the lookout. You watch the street. You watch the police cruisers. You watch the strangers. When something doesn't belong, you send a text. 1 number. That's the whole job. They pay you $40 a week in cash. In your neighborhood, that's more than your uncle makes loading freight. Your mother thinks you're helping a neighbor. You let her think that. The phone in your pocket is a prepaid Nokia that has existed for 11 days. After 11 days, they give you a new one. You don't keep numbers. You don't use names. You don't ask questions. These are the first 3 rules of staying alive, and you learn them before anyone has to say them out loud. You have been noticed. That's all this is. Someone taller than you watched you watch a corner for 3 days and decided you were good at being invisible. You told yourself it was temporary. You told yourself it was just money. You told yourself school was still an option. You are standing on a corner in Culiacán. You are 14 years old. You are already inside. Level 2. The Soldado. You are 16 when they set a black Glock 19 on a table in front of you, and a man known only as El Tuerto watches your face to see how you react. You don't flinch. That was the test. You passed. A soldado, a soldier, is the muscle of the cell. You ride in the back of trucks. You stand outside buildings. You are the physical sentence that says, this corner belongs to someone, and that someone has options. Most days nothing happens. You wait in the August heat for hours and go home. Then one day something happens. You don't pull the trigger, not the first time. You are simply there when someone else does. You are there for the sound and the smell, and the way a body sits differently on the ground than a sleeping person does. That specific geometry, the geometry of a dead body, is something your mind files away without your permission, and it never leaves. You throw up in private. You tell no one. The next time, you don't throw up. You tell yourself you're adapting. That's one word for it. You are making $800 a month. Your mother has new furniture. You are not going back to school. Level 3, the Sicario. There are 47 active Sicarios in your plaza. You become the 48th at age 19 after a night in Sonora that you will not describe to anyone for the rest of your life. What you will say, if ever pressed, it was him or it was me. That's true. It's also the kind of truth that gets easier to say the less it means. A Sicario is a contract killer. The word comes from Latin, the sica, a curved dagger used by assassins in ancient Rome. Nobody tells you this. You learn it years later, and the information sits in your chest like a stone. Your jobs come through a handler, a name, a photo, a neighborhood, a number. The number is your payment. The photo is a person. You have 36 hours. You develop operational habits. Scout 48 hours early. Identify 3 exit routes before 1 entry point. Never use the same vehicle twice. Never bring your phone. The paranoia becomes useful. Then it becomes you. You notice when a car makes the same turn you do. You sit with your back to walls in restaurants. You have memorized every face in your apartment building. This is not anxiety. This is the job leaking into every other hour of your life, and the seam between them has already disappeared. You tell yourself you only take jobs on bad people. For a while that's even true. Level 4, the cell leader. You are 23 and you are responsible for 11 men. This is your first experience with something that looks like management, and it is nothing like management. There are no performance reviews. There are no warnings. When a man under your command makes a mistake that costs the cell money or exposure, the question is not what consequence he receives. The question is whether the consequence comes from you or from above. If it comes from above, you have already failed. Through your territory, 4 square kilometers in the eastern quarter, moves, on an average week, 60 kilograms of product with a street value of $1.4 million. You see none of that money. Your cut is $4,500 a month. 3 different people who owe favors to other people. No paycheck, no record. You have a girlfriend. You do not tell her what you do. She knows. She doesn't ask. This is a kind of intimacy built entirely on what neither of you says aloud, and you find you understand it more than you've understood anything. One of your 11 men is skimming collections, $200 a week for at least 2 months. You have known for 3 weeks. You handle it one Tuesday morning in a way that closes the problem permanently, and you do not think about it the way you thought about the night in Sonora. That's the thing about becoming good at something terrible. The gap closes. You should find that comforting. You don't. Level 5, the Plaza Boss. A plaza is a city. You are the city. Everything that moves through it, product, money, personnel, information, moves because you permit it or because you failed to stop it. The failure is always your fault. The permission is always your risk. You are 27. You have a house with a gate and 2 men outside it at all hours. You have a truck you don't drive yourself. You have a phone changed every 5 days used for 6 specific numbers only. You have not walked into a store alone in 14 months. Your plaza generates $8 million a month in gross revenue. Your take, after upward payments to the regional coordinator and lateral payments to the federal police commander who keeps his phone on vibrate on Sunday mornings, is $280,000. This sounds like wealth. It is a salary paid by people who can revoke it at any time and have done so to your predecessor in a way that required a closed casket. You are very good at this job. You are beginning to understand that being good at this job is not protection. It is an incentive for the people above you to want you to keep doing it. You apply the job to everything now. You read rooms the way a doctor reads an EKG, elevated tension in a man's jaw, the micro shift in a subordinate's posture when he's lying, the specific quality of silence that follows bad news being withheld. You apply it at dinner with your parents, at your nephew's birthday, at the one mass you still attend every Easter because your mother asks. You can't turn it off. There is no promotion. There is only more dependency. That's the nature of the work. Level 6, the regional coordinator. You have never met the man you report to. You know his voice. You know 3 of his preferred phrases. You know that when he says "ya entendiste," you understand, the conversation is over. Beyond this, nothing. No real name, no face, no location. You coordinate 4 plazas, combined weekly revenue, $22 million. Your primary responsibilities are preventing war between plaza bosses who believe the same route belongs to them, managing the bribery schedules for 34 federal, state, and municipal officials, and ensuring product crosses the Sonora corridor and reaches Phoenix, Tucson, and El Paso within 72 hours of crossing. The logistics are genuinely complex. You employ, indirectly, a man with a PhD in supply chain management who worked for a major automotive company before a gambling debt made him available. You have conversations with him that would not be out of place in a corporate boardroom. He uses the word throughput. You use the word throughput. Occasionally you find this funny. Mostly you don't find things funny. In 2 years, one plaza boss was killed by a rival faction, one was arrested and immediately became an informant, and one had to be removed by you personally using a method that required advanced coordination with 3 other people and left no recoverable physical evidence. The 4th is still in place. He is afraid of you. That's correct. That's how it should work. You are not afraid of him. You are afraid of the voice on the phone. That's also correct. Level 7. The head of logistics. The product doesn't move in trucks anymore. Not primarily. You manage a network of 14 active tunnels along the Arizona and California border. The tunnels are engineered. Ventilation systems, rail tracks, lighting. The longest is 2,600 feet. It cost $4 million to build. It paid for itself in 11 days. You also manage the surface routes. Vehicles with hidden compartments ranging from 12 to 180 kilos of capacity, pneumatic catapults that launch sealed packages over the fence into catch zones staffed by receiving teams with a 90-second window, commercial shipping containers with product embedded in legitimate industrial cargo, and an arrangement with 3 long-haul trucking companies whose drivers don't know what they carry and whose dispatchers absolutely do. You have not touched the product since you were 19 years old. This is by design. The distance is your protection and your liability simultaneously. You cannot be tied to any individual shipment, but you cannot pretend you don't know what you're moving, where it goes, and what it does when it arrives. You tell yourself the demand exists without you. You tell yourself someone else would do this if you didn't. You tell yourself the harm is downstream diffuse, statistical. You've been telling yourself that for 11 years. Level 8. The financial director. Every dollar that moves through this organization is dirty. Your job is to make it clean. At $600 million annually, that requires infrastructure. 47 shell companies across 11 jurisdictions, 6 of which have no corporate disclosure requirements whatsoever. Real estate holdings in Miami, Phoenix, Mexico City, and Monterrey. A chain of car washes generating revenue figures invented monthly by your accountant using a formula that back calculates from the amount needing laundering. A mid-sized import-export company with real employees and real invoices that do not correspond to any real shipment. You have a law degree. You passed the bar in Jalisco at 24 and spent 3 years at a legitimate firm before an old classmate made an introduction that changed your life in ways that cannot be undone. That was 14 years ago. You have not practiced legitimate law since. The distance from the violence is the part you focus on. No guns. No bodies. No product. Just numbers moving from account to account, denomination to denomination, country to country, until the origin is unreachable and the money is just money. A system elegant enough that you occasionally feel something adjacent to pride. Then you calculate your exposure and the pride goes away. If this organization falls, you are the documentation. You are the paper trail prosecutors need. You have known this since year 2. You built your dead man switch accordingly. 3 encrypted drives, 3 countries, 3 lawyers who open sealed envelopes if they don't hear from you every 30 days. You told no one here. You told one person outside, just one. The money keeps coming, you keep it clean. Level 9, the capo. Your title, to the extent titles exist in a structure designed to be untraceable, is something between chief operating officer and second in command. You have never held a gun in a professional context. You have never been present when violence was administered. You have signed, by proxy and implication, the decisions that led to approximately 340 deaths in the past decade. You know this number because you keep records. The records are encrypted. You are not sure why you keep them. You are 41 years old. You have a wife who knows the broad shape of what you do and has made a permanent decision not to know the specific details. You have 2 children in an international school in a city you don't live in because their safety requires distance from you. You speak to them on video call 3 times a week. Your daughter is learning piano. Your son is 11 and wants to be an engineer. You encourage this. You have not had a meal in a restaurant without an exit assessment since 2017. You cannot remember the last time you were in a room where someone was not employed at some level to protect you. This is not security. This is a different kind of imprisonment. The cage is large. It is air-conditioned. It has excellent food. It is still a cage. The man at the top is dying. You know this because you make it your business to know everything about everyone above you. His cancer is stage 3. The succession has not been formally discussed by anyone, out loud, in any room you have access to. Everyone knows, no one speaks. The silence above you is the loudest thing you've heard in years. You wait. You prepare. You tell no one. Level 10. The patron. There are 7 men in the world who know your real name. Everyone else knows a legend, a constructed identity so complete that the real person underneath it has become theoretical. You are 53 years old. You have been inside this organization in some capacity for 39 years. In those 39 years, 4 U.S. administrations have listed your network as a priority threat. Interpol has maintained an active file on a name that is not yours for 16 years. 3 times federal operations have targeted your network. 3 times they arrested people who were meant to be arrested, seized product that was meant to be seized, and left the architecture entirely intact. Your organization is not your organization. It is larger than any person. It has internal logic, internal economy, internal culture. It generates its own leadership and its own succession. You are the face of something that would continue without your face. This should be reassuring. It isn't. The power you have spent 4 decades accumulating is real in every way that can be measured, in money, in reach, in the silence of officials who know your name, in the 11,000 people who derive their income from decisions made in rooms you occupy. And yet, you are the most constrained person in any room you enter. You cannot travel freely. You cannot appear. You cannot trust. You tell yourself you built something. You tell yourself the alternative was the corner in Culiacan. You tell yourself there was never a different version of your life available. Maybe one of those things is true. The phone rings. It is always ringing. You pick it up. Somewhere in Culiacan, a boy is standing on a corner. He is 14 years old. Someone taller than him has been watching him for 3 days. He is wearing a red shirt and running shoes that are 1 size too small because his family couldn't afford the right size. He has a Nokia in his pocket that is 11 days old. He is watching the street. He is very good at being invisible. He has no idea how good he is about to become. The cycle never ends. It never even slows.